so God made a dog. God said, I need somebody willing to wake up, give kisses, pee on a tree, sleep all day, wake up again, give more kisses, then stay up until midnight basking in the glow of a television set. God said, I need somebody willing to sit, then stay, then roll over, then with no ego or complaint dress in hats they don't need and costumes they don't understand. Somebody who, no matter what you didn't do or couldn't take or didn't win or couldn't make, will love you without judgment just the same, so God made a dog. God said, I need somebody strong enough to pull sleds and find bombs, yet gentle enough to love babies and lead the blind. Somebody who will spend all day on a couch with a resting head and supportive eyes to lift the spirits of a broken heart. It had to be somebody who'd remain patient and loyal, even through loneliness. Somebody to care, cuddle, snuggle and nuzzle and cheer and charm and snore and slobber and eat the trash and chase the squirrels. Somebody who would bring a family together with the selflessness of an open heart. Somebody who would bark and then pant and then reply with rapid wag of tail when their best friend says, let's go for a ride in the car. So God made a dog.
Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me today for another episode of Gold Wingnut Live. Each week I answer your questions about things happening in Sumter County and the villages. These weekly broadcasts and the construction update videos I produce are two of the ways I bring information to you about the construction happenings here in the villages. At Gold Wingnut Productions, I also provide a photo video service for new homes under construction. If you're building a new home in the villages and you need someone to watch the construction for you and send you regular updates, then contact me through my website, Dawn.encarnacion, and arrange for a photo video package for your new home. I've nearly 20 years in the construction industry as a project manager, and in the last 6 years, Gold Wingnut Productions has provided this valuable service to over 300 homeowners. I know the work the various trades are doing, and I know when the work's being done right and when it's not. I'm not just taking pictures like some others do. I'm watching your home build with a trained eye to help ensure everything is done right. So go to goldwingnut.com and arrange your package today. Now let's get started with the show.
I wish every dog in the world knew what it feels like to be someone's favorite. To wake up on a soft bed instead of cold concrete.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Gold Wingnut Live. I'm your host, Don Wiley, and we're here to take it. All right, I can't talk today. I also can't add. I thought I had timed the intro video so we'd get started right at 3 o'clock, and as I'm watching it, I'm going, this is not going to work, and here we are. It's about 7 minutes early. So, not a big deal. We'll just go a little longer. No problem at all. If you are joining us live, or if you are joining us and you've sat through all the intro and that, be sure to take the slider on YouTube and move it all the way to the right so that you're actually live. That helps with the questions when they come through. You can always go back and rewatch it, the questions, and the live scroll is there. But otherwise, you know, we're 20 minutes, you joined 20 minutes late and you're asking a question that we answered about 3 minutes ago. So it just helps smooth things out. So today's sponsor, if you haven't noticed, is Kitchen Wise and Closet Wise. Great company, locally owned. Scott and April live here in the Villages, and you know, they have a great product. Also, today's sponsors are Shade Masters USA. If you have any kind of shades or blind needs for your home, your lanai, your garage door, whatever it is, talk to them. Of course, Magic Stairs. I can't say enough good about Ron Berner's product, Magic Stairs and the Magic Lift. I have them in my house. It's great. No worries about falling going up the stairs anymore. Country Village Power Equipment, if you need a golf cart, they're the folks to go to. And of course, Surf to Turf Home Inspections. Tom does a great job on inspecting homes, and we'll talk about that shortly. I got to make a note about that. I do my show notes ahead of time, and of course, it's already got 4 different things on there. All right, so let's see what we got on the list before we jump into my list. Let's see. Muskie says, I'm not crying, you are. Yeah, I know. They're real tearjerkers, some of those videos. And Gary's says he's moving to the Villages in about a year. Yeah, as Muskie said, don't wait, just do it. Good afternoon, Victoria. Nice to see you again. Muskie's watching the Mariners and Dodgers. Oh yeah. So I had some comments this week. I won't tell anybody the football scores. Apparently, some folks will watch this instead of watching football, and they don't want to know the scores and have the game ruined for them. So I don't even have the TV on here today, which is okay. I'm getting a little nutty. I'll get my fix afterwards. Let's see, Gary says, Kathy and I are coming to the Villages in 2 weeks for a lifestyle visit. That's good. You definitely want to do a lifestyle visit. Get to know excuse me. Get to know a little bit about the Villages and how things are laid out and the whole process. If you want to know about the different fees and that, go to my YouTube channel, and there's a playlist with Villages fees and costs. And I go through the bond, the maintenance assessment, and the amenity fees. And I want to apologize right now because the presentation on that was rough. That was several years ago when I first started doing the audios, and man, it was terrifying. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Okay. Kathy, okay, we got that. I'm going to guess you'll buy a home before you leave. Okay. Know what model, but I'll have to wait till Kathy's home is sold. Nah, just jump in there, both feet. Okay, for a contractor to add a gas tap line for outdoor grill to my existing gas line heater, will they need to pull a permit? Yes, they will. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they do have to pull a permit because that is one of the utilities. Get a hold of Mike Scott Plumbing. They can do it. They do a great job. I had to have my gas line moved up in my attic because of the Magic Stairs. The guys that initially ran it, they weren't thinking of the Magic Stairs, but I was. So it had to be moved to make room for the Magic Stairs and its operator. So no big deal. It's easy enough. It's not very expensive to do. Muskie says, I moved here without ever coming here, just bought online. I told my mom, we don't like it. We aren't trees, we can move. Okay, and we love it here more every day. All right, outstanding. Yes, Muskie, it's great. I love it here too. I've been here 11 years. I've been a student of the Villages for for that entire time. You know, I got here and I, like many, had some, I don't want to call it mistrust, but I was concerned about developer control. You got to understand, I used to live in St. Mary's, Georgia, and St. Mary's, Georgia was, before the Navy came in, was a company town. And when I mean a company town, Gilman Paper, they ran everything. And, you know, I was afraid I was jumping into that. So I started learning everything I could. I got on the District 10 board, and I really started learning a whole lot at that point. And I've made it a point not to stop learning ever since. John says, Mike Scott is the company quoting based on your recommendation. Okay, that's good. Yeah, they're good people. I know Sean and Samantha, the owners of Mike Scott Plumbing, great people. We'll talk more about, a little bit about their family in a few minutes. Let's see. What else? I got my list here. Okay. Oh yeah, so the truck. It's time to figure out who has won the truck. Or wait, no, the $50 gift card for naming the truck. Woo! No, I'm not giving away the truck, sorry. All right, so let's pull up the web page and we're going to look. I looked earlier, but you know, could have been some votes. Let's see here. We're going to transition to that. And this is my, let's see. Oh yeah, posts. Here we go. Come on. Come on. There we go. All right, so they only allowed 4 choices, and we had 5 on this. So we had oil filled, excuse me, we'll start at the bottom. Babe, Big Blue, Blue Wing, Bob, Oil Field, None of the Above, and Other. So on, let's see, None of the Above got 75% of 8 votes. So it got, what, 6 votes. Going down, though, it looks like Blue Wing got 47% of the 77 votes, or, yeah, so probably about 45% of the, or 44%, excuse me, of the total vote. So Blue Wing, let me pull out my list. Oh, yeah, wait, I got it on here. It is, I got it here, Scott M.A. So, Scott, I'll be reaching out to you. I've got his email address, and which is actually kind of concerning because he's got an email address that has beekeeper in it, and I'm hoping he's one of the people that you know, makes honey, keeps bees. Let's go back to the other camera here, and nothing related to the John Stamos movie that came out last year, called The Beekeeper. That was a little rough. All right, so we have a winner. We're going to call it Blue Wing. Very good. So this past week, what do you mean, not this past week? Yesterday, Debbie and I went to the World Equestrian Center for the Ocala Home Show. And I had, the last time I was at the World Equestrian Center was about 10 years ago, and I was actually supposed to do some work on it. I was going to manage the air conditioning installs for the whole facility. And that was a project that the company was bidding, and I went out there, and it was just a big open field, like so many areas. And now it's absolutely a beautiful place. But anyway, we went there, we looked around, ran into Scott and April from, wake up, Don, wake up, from Kitchen Wise and Closet Wise. And you know, it's always good to see them. They're great sponsors. They've been sponsoring me for about 2 years now. And, you know, found out that they're starting a new line. So kitchen-wise, closet-wise, from what I understand, it's part of a bigger company. It's one of the franchises of this bigger company, and they're getting ready to start the Grout Medic. Okay, so they're going to be cleaning, cleaning and sealing grout in your showers and your floors. I've already signed up. You know, when you buy a house from the Villages, the grout is not sealed. That should be one of the first things you do, is get the grout sealed. Otherwise, it can get stained easy, and trust me, after a few years, trying to get those stains out is challenging. I worked through that selling the other house. So Scott and April, I told you I'm on your list. So we'll be getting that done once they get up in full swing. But I think they said November is when they'll be actually starting to do work. Pardon me, gotta have my coffee. Gotta have my coffee. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? Happy Go Lucky says, have you ever seen people use 2 pool heaters, a gas for quick heating and a heat pump to keep the temperature more efficiently? I'm thinking it would be good for me to have 2 heaters for this purpose. So Happy Go Lucky, the pool we had in our first home, it had gas and solar. The solar maintained it quite well. Honestly, if the solar wasn't maintaining it, above 75 degrees, it probably was too cold for me to jump in the water. But I also had gas heat. Gas heat is definitely much more effective at heating the water. You're talking, normally it's a 300 or 400,000 BTU unit. If you're using a heat pump, it's not going to get that level of heat input, whereas gas is always going to give you that because you're working with a hot flame. Heat pump tries to take heat out of the air and put it into the pool. But if it's cold out, there's not a lot of heat in the air to put in the pool, so it has to run longer. I'm not a big fan of heat pumps. If you have one in your house, you'll see it has emergency heat, and it normally kicks on. Sometimes they call it emergency heat, sometimes they call it auxiliary heat. When it has to kick on normally is when it gets about 42 degrees or less. And what emergency heat or auxiliary heat is, it's just heating strips. Okay, just like one of the little floor units you sit to keep your feet warm under your desk at work. That's basically all it is, and it just circulates it through the house. Yeah. Let's see. Vinny says, definitely interested in the grout service. Yep. Give Kitchen-Wise, Closet-Wise a call. Tell them put you on their list. Muskie says, I've been researching grout cleaning and sealing too. Great to hear Kitchen-Wise, Closet-Wise will be doing it. Yeah, Muskie, didn't you have Kitchen-Wise, Closet-Wise do your kitchens and that? I thought you said something about that. Thank you. Oh, Craig says, thank you for updating the new video. Yeah. So the new video I screwed up. Well, no, I didn't screw up. My software screwed up. I got done doing all the voiceovers, everything looked good. I played it all through in the editor. And for some reason, during the rendering process, which is the last step where it takes, I had 10, 12 tracks. Yeah, like 12 tracks between audio and video and still images that were that compile the video, and it renders it and makes it into basically one video track by meshing it all together. And for whatever reason, the last couple of clips, they were supposed to be at twice normal speed, and they played back at normal speed. And I still don't know what happened. When I went back into the software last night, I was confused as to what was going on, but we got it fixed. So if you watch it, I posted on a bunch of Facebook pages. Most of them still have the old link, only because it's incredibly difficult to go back to 60 or 70 Facebook pages and update them. But if you're watching it on the Facebook page, look at the description. And in the description, it has a link to jump you to the spot where things got screwed up. And it'll take you right to that point, so you don't have to watch the first half. It takes you right to the 21-minute point. So again, there's 2 videos. There's a fixed version. You can watch that, and it has a link also to skip you to that part if you get it there. All right. Let's see. All right. All right. Here we go. Where are we at here? Okay. Yeah. Victoria wants to know, how many homes usually are built in a single village? You know, that really varies. The village, the newcomers guide that they have, it just came out 2 weeks ago. Always shows you the number of houses, but it's somewhere between 800 and 1,500 on average. But there are some that are, I want to say 1,800, and I know there's one that has less than 100 homes. So it just varies, from village to village, how many are going to be there. It all depends on the layout and how the designers are thinking. But they're normally staying somewhere in the ballpark of 1,000 homes these days. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Happy Go Lucky says, we own 2 homes in the villages before moving to Middleton. We are noticing a lot of seniors are moving to Middleton. As it turns out, Middleton is more than just families. It's for everyone. You're right. It is. I know I've had several customers. They're seniors, and I asked them why, and they said, well, we want to be around younger kids and younger families. And I get it. I really do get it. It's a different vibe in Middleton than it is in the other town squares because of all the young people. Craig says, very good video update. Thank you very much. Let's see. Yeah, great video. Thank you, Arthur. Let's see. John Kim Norris says, oh, here we go. I'm looking at the little list and it's up on the screen. I just received 2 home insurance quotes, one with sinkhole, one without. The sinkhole quote is twice the price, including to pass the sinkhole coverage unless, inclined to pass sinkhole coverage unless it becomes an issue in Eastport area. As I said before, I think it was last week when I bought my first house 11 years ago, they wanted like $106 for sinkhole coverage for a $300,000 home. They didn't think it was a big issue. I kind of agreed and I passed on it. I don't have it on my new house. I figure the risks are pretty small. I mean, I could be wrong. I could lose my shirt if something happens, in which case, shame on me. But I think, sinkholes happen all over the state of Florida. It's not centralized in the villages or any one area, contrary to what you may read online. They're all over the state. If you look at a map of the state of Florida and you see a lake that looks kind of round, it's a sinkhole. But like you, at that rate, yeah, I would pass on it if it's twice as much. Muskie says she loves kitchen-wise. They did her kitchen, pantry, and laundry. It's like a whole new house. Yeah, I agree. So Eb says, heat pumps are significantly more efficient than gas heaters as they transfer existing heat from the air to the pool rather than burning fuel or to the pool water. You're right, they do, but I would argue that they're not significantly more efficient. They're not. They're not. There's not as much. There's not as much heat in the air to pull out when it's cold. It you know, it's an air conditioner is all it is. Your air conditioner has to work harder in the summertime. Why? Because same reason. All a heat pump is an air conditioner where they can reverse the condenser and evaporator units. But if you want, I mean, in my old house, 5 minutes and I would have my hot tub up at 105 degrees. It would take about 2 hours to heat the pool. So, it's personal preference, I guess. My preference, though, in the quote I got from T&D for a pool, I said I wanted gas. I'm not going to use it that often if I do decide to put in a pool. Of course, now Debbie's talking, she wants a summer kitchen instead of a pool, so that's a whole different story. We'll figure that one out. I like gas. What can I say? All right. Tammy says, hi, Dawn. Just curious how the villagers came up with the names of the village neighborhoods. That's interesting. Some of them are, for example, I lived in the village of Hillsborough. There's a village of Collier. These are counties in Florida. St. Catharines is actually a community here in Sumter County. Let's see, Linden is a community here in Sumter County. There's a whole bunch of them from Sumter County. Some of the other ones, I don't know. I think, they got St. John's and St. James. I'm thinking somebody must have been playing Monopoly or something. I don't know. No, St. John's came from St. John's County. I don't know where St. James came from. But, over the years, if you go up to the northern end, they have more of a Spanish naming theme. It seems to change. I think they run out of names. Just like the villa communities. I lived in Ventura Villas. I don't know where they got Ventura from. Now a lot of them are people's names. I think it's nieces, nephews, grandchildren's. They're using their names. So they have a whole bunch of different ways that they pick names. Where was I going with this? Oh, the streets. The streets are even more interesting because they've gone through so many street names. I had when we lived in the village of Hillsborough, there was Cosmos and Infinity Run, Blue Moon. That's what the name of some of the streets in the village of Hillsborough. Of course, we went through there the first time, and everything was still under construction. We were here visiting because we lived down in Haines City, so it was only an hour away. We came up and looked around, and we went down, and we went down Cosmos, and we saw Infinity Run, and of course, my wife worked at Disney at the time, and Infinity, well, Buzz Lightyear came into our brains. Never went away. Anyway, let's see. All right, back to the questions. I also didn't buy sinkhole insurance. Yep, I agree. Heat pumps are great until you want to use the pool when it gets chilly out. Exactly. Jay Cozy says, is your driveway painted? Any recommendations on companies that do that? No recommendations. I haven't really looked into it. It is not painted, mainly because of the motorcycle. The motorcycle weighs 900 pounds. If I put the side stand down, it's just going to peel up any kind of paint that's on there. I've seen it. It's just a hazard. So, but I don't have any recommendations. I haven't really looked at it. Happy Go Lucky says, I already have a heat pump and I love the cost efficiency. It is great during warmer weather. but looking for an additional source of heating and cooling weather due to the factors you mentioned. Yeah. For me, in the warmer weather, I used solar, and it was really it really was worthwhile to have the solar. Johnny Mac says, heat pump cools the pool. I don't believe gas heaters will. Now, I've never, ever heard of a heat pump cooling the pool. That would be an interesting thing. I mean, obviously it would be good, but I think that's something that the district governments are looking at, or excuse me, the amenities division is looking at for some of the neighborhood pools, is to cool them down, and they're using a heat pump. But I'm not familiar with any of the standard ones from either Jandy or Hayward that actually do cool. It's not something I looked at. I like Wingnut Village. That has a nice ring to it. I agree. Okay. Russell says, you know you're running out of street names. You know they are running out of street names. Told the VLS agent I need a discount before I'll buy on Sack Rider Path. No comment. All right. Our sinkhole cost is only $64 through Kellyman State Farm on Warm Springs Road. Great peace of mind. Hey, at $64, I'd take it in a heartbeat. Yeah. Okay. Vinny says his Hayward heat pump also has a chiller. So I'll be honest with you, I'm a little out of date on my pool technology. I haven't really looked at it in 8 or 9 years when I had the last pool built. So it's worth taking a look at. And you know, you're right. I think that's I thank you, Vinny. I appreciate that. I forgot who it was. Johnny Mac. Okay, I'm going to go take a look at that because that's interesting. Be good to know. Can you talk about Edenfield construction updates? Edenfield is going berserk. The first houses that were started are, you know, they're doing interior finish work on them, so they are, you know, they're moving right along, and they're going down Edenfield Run, and it's slowly creeping back up to McNeil, so up by the San Tropez Recreation Center. So it's going. You know, they still have some spec homes that they're going to sell, as well as they got verandas and courtyard villas that they're going to be building. Right now they're pushing the sale of LaGrange. Yeah, we'll talk about LaGrange in a few minutes. Let's see. All right, hang on. Things have scrolled off the air that I haven't seen. I think the names come from hometowns. Some of the names do come from the hometowns of the developer, Arthur. Whoops, I missed some here. Okay, Muskie says, I have sinkhole and catastrophic coverage for both, and my sinkhole coverage was not expensive at all. Okay, well, that's good. Craig the Sailor says, my wife and I are looking at a place in Chitty Chatty, but are concerned about access to golf and squares. It appears that it's just in the middle of nowhere. Is a golf cart ride painful? Now, remember, you're retired. Enjoy the ride. It's fun. I enjoy riding on the golf cart every chance I get. But it's not painful. You know, there's what, a couple hundred houses there in Chitty Chatty. Everybody seems to like it. And a lot of people pass through there. You know, you're not next to the town square. You're not next to Brownwood. You're not next to Lake Sumter Landing. You're not next to Sawgrass or Eastport. So you're going to have a bit of a ride, 15, 20 minutes or so. Enjoy the ride. It's not bad. Let's see. Any word on Bel Air opening? Anytime now. Anytime now. I was looking at it yesterday. It looks gorgeous. It's ready to play. Also, is Finney going to be the same issue with location? Okay, Craig, I'm not sure what your question is about Finney, same issue with location. Oh, I get it. Okay, now, I understand your question now. I was just talking about the other one. So, yeah, Finney, it's going to take you a few minutes to get someplace, but, not every place can be right next to a town square. It's not necessarily bad. You don't have to listen to the music. So you have that going for you. Let's see. Muskie says, in Palm Springs and Las Vegas, pools have chilling pumps because the pools get way too hot. Yeah, I can believe that there. Johnny Mac says, did you have solar for just the pool or the whole house? Just the pool. That's all I went for. Russell says, for those interested in LaGrange along Sack Rider Path, the designer homes will be Unit 197 with 152 homes. Bond is $49,500 at 4.72%, $32.75 per year for 2026. So yeah, the bond payment stays the same for the first 10 years, and then if they can reissue the bond, then they'll do that if they can get a lower interest rate. Wow, I'm really behind in the comments here. Let's get caught up here. There's supposedly a village pool in the north end that has a chiller. I heard the chiller was purchased by a private organization for their sole use. There is a private pool. There is 2 Courtyard Villa communities that have a pool in the middle. I don't remember the name of it, but I do know where it's at. It's in CDD 1, and they have an HOA fee, and it covers their pool, but they're the only ones that can use that pool. So let's see. Mushkie says, I live and love Finney. It's fabulous. Okay. 15 minutes to Sawgrass, 10 to 15 to Eastport and Middleton, via golf cart. Any word on Bel Air opening? We talked about that already. And Finney has so many amenities than other. Okay, I don't know about that, but okay. John wants to know, do you have any concerns about your dog running around loose and or yard with frequent pest control treatments? We have frequent use of our home up north, but I'm a little nervous coming down here. We use it. Okay, so I know when my exterminators are coming, they always call me because I tell them I have dogs. And I'll try and make sure I'm at the house when they're there so that I can bring the dogs in and keep them in until it dries. And then a lot of times I'll just grab the dogs. I put them in the truck now. Used to be the van. And I'll take them to the dog park and give the pesticides time to dry. But other than that, it's generally not been a problem. Let's see here. Barbara says, we heard the names of the streets are employee names now. Yeah, some of them are. A lot of the sales folks, Frank DiPietro, he's got a street. He was the guy who sold my last house for me. Did a great job. There's a whole bunch of them named after sales staff. We talked about Mike Scott Plumbing a little while ago. There is a Sean Scott and a Samantha Scott road in Shady Brook. Yeah, Shady Brook. So those are some of the contractors. They got some of the streets are named after contractors. For example, there's a new road, Bush Boulevard. It's named after Brent Bush. He works for one of the engineering firms that the Villages uses a lot. All right. Let's see. Finney has the closest putt and play and so many nature trails. We also have an air gun range, archery, and a huge dog park. Yep, there's lots there. All right. Yes, our heat pump can cool the pool. I run our pool at 93 degrees, so not interested in cooling it. I need it warm to be able to use it. Okay. That'll be. So again, thanks for the info. I'm going to go take a look at that because again, I'm thinking about a pool, and I get it. And there have been times where the pool was a little bit warm. Chatty has no natural gas, only electric. That was the deal breaker. So Village of Hillsborough had no natural gas either. We had a 200-gallon tank buried in the front yard by T&D, and they took care of it. They took care of filling it and everything. Let's see. Rented in Chitty Chatty. Drive wasn't bad. Appreciated the nature trails for walking from there down to Sawgrass along the woods. Yeah, there's a lot of nice walking paths when you get south of 44. Those don't exist north of 44. So that is one advantage of the newer area. That was one of the driving reasons for putting in the Black Lake walking path up at Lake Meona. It was a gorgeous area, and it seemed like a great location to put it. There were some challenges. We had to build a bridge. There's some wetlands there that are a challenge. One of the things that the Project-wide Advisory Committee dealt with was the walking surface. They spent an extra $200,000 on this rubberized walking surface. And I've walked it a couple of times. It's really nice. For some folks that have joint problems, it's a godsend. But most of the walking paths, though, are asphalt. So that, it is what it is. All right, let's see. Whew, man, let's try and get caught up, and we can take a break because I need to take a break. And I'm sure you understand what I mean. I'm getting old. Let's see. Thanks for the great info. We love the area. Okay. Muskie, is your cart legal or juiced up? I'll tell you what. Let me touch on that topic for just a second. The legal limit you can drive a golf cart in the state of Florida is 20 miles an hour. If you go over that, then you have to be operating it as a low-speed vehicle. So now the road may be 30 miles an hour, and that's fine. You're not going to get a ticket for speeding, but you will get a ticket for having an unlicensed vehicle. You will get a ticket for not having proper equipment on that vehicle. In other words, you're supposed to have brakes on all four wheels to be a low-speed vehicle. They've got like 4 different tickets they're going to write you. It's going to cost you about $2,000 by the time you get done with the fines, if the sheriff's department or the police department catch you and really want to hammer you hard. So I don't recommend ever doing over 20 miles an hour. The other thing is, the carts aren't designed for that kind of speed. They're not going to handle well around the corners at speeds. And the whole thing with these seat belts that people are putting in, okay, excuse me, they are not tested. Yeah, I worked for Johnson Controls for 20 years. Our automotive service group, one of the guys, Dawn.williams, W-I-L-L-E-Y, he and I got to be good friends because of some exchanging emails. We talked about, he dealt with car seats, and seat belts were a big thing. We talked about them one day. They spend millions every year testing seat belts to make sure they're mounted properly and they're going to work properly and that. And we got guys coming around and attaching them to the cheap pot metal frames of a golf cart and calling them seat belts. Man, that's playing with fire, That's like wearing a football helmet on a motorcycle. That's, I just spent $1,000 on a new helmet for my motorcycle, okay? Yes, I could have bought a $50 helmet. I kind of figured my head was worth a little bit more than that. All right, Okay, where are we at here? All right. Good to Go says, why don't they have sprinklers in the dog parks? The grass at Sophie Doodle's in Eastport is dying already. Sprinklers would also be great to wash away the dog, what the dog leaves behind. Yeah, what the dogs behind leave behind. I don't know why they don't have sprinklers there, other than some dogs would probably chew them up. But I mean, I get it. I was at Sophie Doodle's this morning with Sully and Lily, and it's starting to look a little rough. Most of the dog parks go through these cycles, but I take a big bucket for the dogs to have water, and when we get ready to leave, I take and I wash down the posts, the poles there that are holding the shade structure, to help wash away some of the dog urine that the dogs leave behind. All right, let's see. Oh, Doug says the Scots are in Water's Edge. Okay, I believe you, Doug. It's been a while since I actually looked. Is that what? Yeah, I guess it is Water's Edge. I don't know where one begins and the other one ends anymore. Let's see. Nope, just regular insurance. Don't care about accidents. Carts used up. Street legal. Okay. It's not the journey. It's the journey, not the destination. So if the cart goes fast, you miss so much of wildlife. Okay, that's cool. More importantly, would Debbie say your head is worth a $1,000 helmet? You know, you would think that. But when I bought the helmet and she saw the price, she was like, oh my gosh, that's so expensive. It's like, what? Last time I bought her a helmet, it was $1,200, and it was okay. Yeah, but anyway. All right. So why don't we take a quick break, and I will be right back.
Pull up that clip.
We bought a piranha for a dog. At this rate, I have no idea how we never stepped on her. Calling her was an instant regret.
Your bite force is what? Somewhere between a paperclip and a baby's handshake?
Doesn't matter. Still leaves a mark.
Yeah, okay. You probably can't bite through a baby carrot.
At daycare, do they put you with the dogs or just slide you in with the hamsters?
Dogs. I've got paperwork to prove it.
All right, I'm back. So, yeah, I couldn't believe how tiny that dog was when I saw it. Unbelievable. Let's see here. Let's catch up, and then we're gonna jump to something else, something that's I think is pretty important. Let's see. Looks like we're behind here. Oh. All right. I think Dudley Dog Park has sprinklers. All right, and my grandfather always said, buy a $10 helmet for a $10 head. I would agree. You know, I was a teenager at living in San Antonio, Texas, and I hit the back end of a car at 55 miles an hour on Interstate 410, and I got to look in the back window before I went sliding across the ground. I came out of it in good shape, totaled the motorcycle, sprained my knee, got home, and I was looking at the helmet, and there was a big abrasion on it about that big. I went tick, tick, tick on it, and my finger went through the fiberglass. That was all I needed at that young age to tell me I would never ride again without a helmet. And I stick with that. Thank you, Victoria. I appreciate the donation. Let's see. She also says, I don't know why your comments don't show up when you do this. Does Eastport have an official grand opening date for its square and where the music is live? No, I have not seen any announcement yet. I have been looking. I have been tickling at all my sources, and I can't find anything. All right. So let's see here. I gotta get to the right screen. There we go. All right. Let's go here. Oh, of course. All right. All right. So right now, what's on the screen is some contact information. So let me start with where I'm going with this. I attend the school board meetings on a regular basis for the charter school. At this past week's school board meeting, they said that they need substitute teachers. They have a lot, but they need more substitute teachers. The school system is getting bigger. People take FMLA, so they need long-term, short-term, all different grades. So if you're moving here, or maybe you're already here and you're a retired school teacher and you want to get some work in and stay engaged with the youth of our community, both Sumter County schools and the village's charter schools is looking for substitute teachers. On the screen is the contact information. It's also in the description of this video. The same information you see on the screen. I can't say enough about the schools here in Sumter County, both the charter schools and the county schools. They really are some great schools. And let me tell you why I go to these school board meetings. A few years ago, I was really disenchanted with the youth of our country because I see these kids, they're nose in the phone, disrespectful, completely clueless on how the real world works. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Well, when I started getting into county politics, I had the opportunity to meet some of the young people, both at South Sumter High School and the village's charter school. And I was impressed. I was blown away by these young people. Absolutely phenomenal. Two I want to speak highly of, Ethan Parks and Avery Youngblood. They're the founders of the South Sumter chapter for Turning Point USA. I just saw Ethan the other night at it was Thursday night at the Republican Club of the Villages, Florida monthly meeting. He spoke. He spoke about things that happened at St. Leo's College, where he goes to school now, and with the dreadful assassination of Charlie Kirk. He spoke of the threats that he had received, the step-ups in campus security. But anyway, I digress. I have a whole different attitude towards our young people now. They are, in Sumter County, the young people I have met are absolutely phenomenal. They got good heads on their shoulders. Their parents are bringing them up right. They know a few magic words that are just amazing because I hadn't heard them in so long. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Please and thank you. Very common words out of their mouth. And it's like, okay, that's great. I mean, that's the way I was raised. I'm sure that's the way many of us were raised. Again, the schools, you're not going. If you've heard of like some of these inner city schools and all the problems they have, that's not Sumter County. That's not the charter school system. You will be amazed. So again, if you have some experience and you'd like to go back to doing some teaching part-time, reach out to Dawn or Dana at the school system, and they can start you on the process. Obviously, there's background checks that have to be done and things like that, but absolutely, they could use the help, and it's a great way to stay engaged with the young people of our community. All right. Again, that information is also in the description for this video. Let's see. Any info on quality of lawn care services from greensmiths versus the big companies? My mom told me if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I don't know anything about greensmith. I will say that I was very disappointed in the lawn care services that I had. I went through 4 different contractors, and I was not happy with it. I ended up doing it myself for many years. I have one of these Roomba-like lawnmowers. I still haven't had a chance to get it put together and get it running outside. I'm hoping to do some of that tonight. If not tonight, then I don't know. Maybe I'll come back to the house tomorrow morning and do it. I got a lot going on. Anyway, but I mean, honestly, if there is a problematic contractor in the villages, it is the lawn care services. I mean, I was at the house every day, and they said, "Well, we'll come by on Tuesday." Well, then it was Thursday, and then it was Saturday, and then they'd miss a week, and it just wasn't worth the effort. So I wish I could give you some better feedback on that, but my experience was not very good. Orange Mini Cooper says, "We have some exterior work to be done, which we want to do prior to the sprinkler installation. Can you do things prior to closing when the developer controls approval?" No, you cannot. So I'm assuming you're talking about a new house based on what you're saying. You cannot do anything to that property before closing. You don't own it. You own a stake in it, obviously, because you're building your house, but they're not going to let you on there. The only thing I've ever seen people do is they'll have, for example, blinds contractors or swimming pool contractor, flooring people, cabinetry people, what have you. While the home's being built, go in and take measurements, and that way they can get a jump on things. There comes a point where the dimensions inside the room aren't going to change, and the lot dimensions aren't going to change. But no, you can't do anything prior to closing on a new home. All right. Let's see. Oh, you know what? So I had a call yesterday when I was on my way to the World Equestrian Center by a lady who watches the show. I hope she's on the show today. And she sent me some of the documents for the new section of LaGrange that is, they use an agency called ESS. Yeah, Sumter County Schools. And thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Yeah, ESS is the hiring company. Again, you can reach out to Dana. She'll get you in touch with ESS. Where was I? I lost track of my thoughts. Whoa, man. I guess I need more caffeine in that coffee. Oh yeah, LaGrange. So there's a new section of LaGrange coming out. Let's go ahead and pull those up. Whoops. I love this cartoon. Let's see. Oh wait, okay. So here's part of the section of LaGrange that's coming up. And here's the rest of it. So, whoops. Yeah, dang it. So what made me, it caught my eye, and I'll show you the details on it in a minute, but it relates to this. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, I showed everybody this. This is where the boathouse is in the marina at Sunset Island, and there was this, and no explanation. And if you look at the map now, it's gone. It is gone. And I couldn't figure out what the heck is going on. And I have no idea why the colors look screwed up again. It's only on this one screen. But anyway, so no idea what this is. However, comma, when you look here, you know, when you look at this, this came out of the CDD founding documents, the documents that they file with the state, and you can see right here, this little section of land. Now, this little section here is, whoops, this section right here, okay? But this is the unit, lots of units, and there's no unit number there. And I thought, well, okay, so it's not residential. But wait, it is part of CDD 15. This came from the county's website, and you can see on there that right here, it is part of CDD 15. The only thing that's in CDD 15 is residential properties. And I thought, you know, it could be apartments, or because the lofts in Brownwood are part of CDD 9. So that's a possibility. However, going back to this document, look down here at the bottom. You know what, that's hard to see. I'm going to blow it up. So this is down here at the bottom. And what you see is, first off, this line of squares right here. Well, when you look at the legend, it says that's a privacy fence. So this is something that's not appeared on any other document. So this caught my eye this morning. And then these lines right here. This is the first time I've seen these lines. And if you look at those lines, there's about 60 feet by scale. So, which would make it, you know, some designers or verandas, probably more likely courtyard villas. Wouldn't be designers because of the privacy wall. So it could be verandas, could be courtyard villas that are going in there. I don't know, this is the first I've seen them. But again, we look and there's no unit. And I'm confused. So we're going to keep a real close eye on this one, because this was really telling, seeing this. You know, a lot of times it's a matter of catching little glitches like this that they didn't want to release maybe. And so we're going to, I'll keep letting you know, see what I find out. Let's see. All right, let's go back. But I thought I'd share that with everybody. I thought that was pretty good. Oh yeah, LaGrange. So if you're building a house in LaGrange, I'm still offering the same special, $100 off. If you can tell me who does the song LaGrange, and you take out what you call it, my services to photograph your house under construction. Reach out to me directly. Tell me what they who does LaGrange, and I'll take $100 off your cost. All right, back to this. Where are we at here? All right, so Laura, okay, we saw that one already. Russell wants to know, do you have a feel about designer home prices of new build spec versus with same options, hearing 10% higher for same options? No, I don't have a feel for that. And I'll be honest with you, yeah, I've never done a, what you call it, a custom build. I've seen the contracts. I've talked to obviously quite a few people who've done them, but we really don't get into the price discussions on that. You know, other than the fact that they don't tell you any prices until here's the final number. They don't let you say, well, you know what, maybe I don't want the crown molding, that's too expensive. They don't give you line item pricing, unfortunately. You know, 10% 10% So 10% higher, is that on the spec home or is that on the custom build? I'm not sure. Let's see. All right. All right, let's see. Don, do you have a map of CDC 16 that breaks down the residential units? If so, where can I find it? I'll tell you where you can go. Let's go back to the web page. Oops, we got to go to the web page. Web page, web browser. All right, go to Bill Vane's website. Whoops, that's not it. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, you'll find a link for this in the latest video 160. It's VAYENS.com. Click on where it says maps. You'll need to do this on a computer or a laptop. Your phone, it won't come up right. But if you click on maps, he's got some really great maps. And the bottommost one shows the neighborhoods, and it does show each of the subdivisions in CDD 16. So that's the best bet. Again, it's VAYENS.com, and that's Bill's website. All right, let's go back to, all right. Let's see. Hey, Jerry, stop giving away money for me. I'm going to charge you $100 now. All right. Any update on Medicare Advantage plans that Villages Health is going to accept? I have not heard anything. I am not on Medicare, so I'm still on TRICARE. Let's see. Craig the Sailor says, Fran, although not licensed in Florida, I'm a Medicare Advantage insurance agent. They will not be able to tell you the information about Advantage plans until October 1st. That is the law. Okay, that's good to know. Freehand JT says, hi Don, great update video. Just noticed on the video that there is a label on one of the buildings in Middleton for says gym. Any idea what gym would occupy that a space that large? If I had to guess, it's going to be another Genesis facility. They seem to be working quite a bit with the Villages. They just took over the Rialto movie theater and made it the new Genesis gym, and I think they also run the one in Brownwood. So that would be my guess. Yeah, thanks, Mushki. Yeah, don't tell anybody what the answer is. Although I'll probably give it to you anyway. Let's see. Mushki says, I have Medicare Supplement Plan G. My guess, any guess on percent increase in premiums? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Again, I'm not on Medicare, but I guess soon. I got a friend of mine who used to work for Social Security, and he's saying I need to sign up for it now that I'm 64. I guess I'm getting old. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? We got some more stuff coming in here. Again, LaGrange, if you're buying a house in LaGrange and you need me to take pictures and watch the construction for you, I'll go to my website, goldwingnut.com, and I'll give you $100 off if you can tell me who does the song LaGrange. Let's see. All right, here we go. We got some more. Eb says, I sub at the Villages Charter School. All they look for is a high school graduation. Charter is great to sub, great kids. That's good to know, Eb. I'll be honest with you. I am in awe at the charter school especially. They do such great work. You see these school board meetings, and parents are going wild, and the school boards are doing crazy things. That's not the charter school. The charter school is just phenomenal. Dr. Lester, he used to be the vice president for resident relations here in the Villages. He's retired, but he is still chairman of the school board. He does a great job. Dr. McDaniel, who is the superintendent of the schools, incredible educator. You know, I got a chance to meet all the principals, some really phenomenal educators working here. Let's see. Mike B says, are the grocery store names you've heard speculated from your contacts for Eastport store that have large presence already in the Villages or something different? No comment. I'm not going to give you hints because I don't want to. I don't want to compromise the information and the relationships I have. We'll see what they are. As soon as I find something though, in writing on a public source, all bets are off. And the people I talk to and that share information with me, they know that's how I work. You know, I continue to look all the time for new information. Let's see. Oh, that question was for Craig. So, okay. All right. Unschool says, number 160, I found the 3 screenshots for Eastport Drive to be too much for my old brain to process. Would prefer a single screen except for then and now videos. You know, that was something new I was trying, you know, because just flying down the street, you know, you got to see something, but you didn't really get to see the fronts of the buildings. So my recommendation, put your hand up on the screen and just kind of cover the one you don't want to look at. But, you know, I tried to synchronize it, so going, yeah, if you look at the top, it's going, you're looking straight ahead. If you're look at the left screen, it's looking to the left side of the street. The right screen is looking to the right side of the street. It was just something I was trying. I wanted to see if I could do it, and actually it worked extremely well, especially considering that I didn't fly at the same speed as I went down each one. Because I was flying freehand, I didn't have it programmed or anything, so it was all manually controlled. I thought I did a pretty good job, but you know, some of them, I mean, one of the runs was twice as long as the other, and the third one was someplace in between. All right. Let's see. Grayless Sailor says, March, really? Since the new year starts in January, that's odd. Oh, okay. And Freehand said they loved the 3 screens. You know, and that's the thing. Some people like the maps. Some people hate the maps. Some people like the data up in the upper right-hand corner. When I do that, some people hate it. They say it's distracting. You know, I try and give everybody as much as I can. Yeah, to give you know a good amount of information and try and help you make sense out of it. Without a map, trying to figure out your way around here can be challenging. Yeah, confusing. All right, just plain confusing. There's no such thing as a straight street in the Villages. Everything twists and turns. Victoria wants to know, does the weather start to get cooler mid-December? Really cool in mid-December. It's starting to cool off now. It's actually very pleasant now. We're only getting into the mid-80s, and you know, it's I think it's pleasant. You know, by December you're going to be in long pants, most likely. Although this past year I think I golfed in long pants 4 times, and the rest of the time was still in shorts, and I golf every Saturday. I didn't golf yesterday because of the home show. Let's see. Depending on the state, and okay, that's about the healthcare stuff. Let's see. Russell said, I told a Villages sales rep I expect new build to be 5% higher for identical spec home, and they said they expect the price premium for choice to be more than that. Appreciate the LaGrange info you gave. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I guess, yeah, you want to pick and choose. Yeah, it's going to cost you a little bit more, I guess. Yeah, Craig says, as I said, cover one side and cover the other two screens and just focus on the one you want. That's the nice thing about YouTube. You can always back it up and watch some more. Watch it again. Wow. All right, so let's see. What else did I have on my list here? Oh man, there was a post on a certain website. Somebody saying that the villagers pay for the entertainment. They shouldn't allow the outsiders in. The villagers don't pay for the entertainment in the squares. That is paid for by the merchants. They have something the equivalent of a maintenance assessment that they pay. It's got a different name, and it's high compared to what we pay. They use that to pay for the entertainment in the squares. There used to be a 1%, what was it called? Tourism tax, sorry, yeah. And I think 3 years ago, the board got rid of it. And now the way the legislature is written, we can't get it back. The board had actually considered bringing it back and discussion on that. And then this past legislative session, the tourism tax issue fell off the table and into the garbage can. Speaking of that county, the county budget gets approved. Its final approval is this Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock at the Everglades Regional Recreation Center. If you're interested in what's going on, please come. I'm not sure where things are going to fall out. It's always interesting. Hopefully, we won't have any last-minute changes that jeopardizes our two fire departments. They have endured great pains for the last 2 years. Hey, let me see can you see Sully's head? Come on, up here. Come on, get up here. Come on. Of course, he's not going to jump up. Any other time, he'll jump up. Hey, come here. Let's see. We got a treat here. You want this? If you want that, you got to come up here. Oh, all right. So now we have both of them here. All right. Nobody's gonna come up. All right. No big deal. Sorry. If you haven't figured out yet, I love dogs. I put up these funny clips that I find on Facebook. Some of them are funny. Some of them are touching. We have the Sumter County Animal Shelter. It is full. It's overflowing. If you have a place in your heart for a dog and a place in your home for a dog or a cat, please consider adopting. We have a lot of really good animals. They need homes desperately. It's sad. It's the worst part of my job as a county commissioner is walking through that animal shelter. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart every time. My wife says I'm a big sap. I freely admit it. We're doing what we can to hopefully improve the animal shelter. Right now, though, it's just about money. The raising taxes is not an option in my book, so we got to figure out another way to fund it, and we're working on it. All right. Let's see. I think I covered everything on my list. Let's see. Sorry, had to put the dog out. Did Victoria's question about Eastport grand opening music get addressed? Puto, we did. We don't know. Nothing's been announced yet. Obviously, as soon as we hear something, as soon as something breaks, it's going to be all over the internet because people are really anxious. I will tell you, if you watch video 160 and you see the main street that I flew down, you will see that there's still a tremendous amount of work to do. They're not going to open it up until basically the buildings are like they are in Middleton, where they're ready for infill, but the street has to be done. All the facades have to be completed. The plants have to be put in. They're still putting in walkways between some of the buildings, so it's still going to be a little while. You know, I'm optimistic for Christmas tree lighting. We'll see. You know, what's coming though, if you haven't noticed, in the last month or so, they've really started, since they opened up the sales office, which was about, what, a month and a half ago? When they opened that up, that's when they started their first announcements of things other than Prime and Embers and Citizens First Bank having a wealth office there. That's when they mentioned Yamas, yeah, I think it's Yamas, and Sundays, and those are going to be in the hotel. Now there's tacos and tequilas, and there's I think it's Oak and Stone, I believe is the name of it. So they're starting to, the information's starting to come out. They're starting to be, what you call it, a little more forthcoming with the information. And of course, there's still lots going on in Middleton. Let's see. Orange Mini Cooper says, well, we are very happy and blessed to have our home being finished up. We think others would benefit from understanding the experience. No pricing on items and limited customization options. Yeah, they have. You know, part of the limitations on the customizations, you know, during COVID, it was a different time, and there was a lot of really incredible customizations going on. Some of the houses I took pictures of were just amazing. Some of the changes and additions that they were doing, but that added to the delays and the schedule, and it really complicated things a bit much for them. And they had to draw a line in the sand someplace, and they did. I think they could do more, you know, especially since, as my understanding of this whole precast wall is, you tell the computer the size walls you need, and the forms move, and they pour the concrete, and the computer does all the work. So it's not impossible to do, but, you know, for example, I know that for some things they like, you can do it no additional space, add 2-foot extension, add a 4-foot extension. But you say, well, my lot will only support a 3-foot extension. Can I do that? No, you can't. It's going to be 2-foot, it's going to be 4-foot. They're not budging because the next guy comes along and says, yeah, we'll give you 3-foot. The next guy comes along and says, well, I got an extra foot. Let's make it 5. Can we do that? They're very sticklers about their rules, and they're not very flexible. So yeah, there we go. I wanted to talk real quick about home inspections, because I get this question frequently, and I think it's really important. If you're building a new home, okay, you have 1 week from the time you close for your initial warranty inspection. Get a professional. Get a professional in there to look. They're going to see things. They know what they're looking for. They're going to go up in your attic. They're going to go on your roof. They know where all kinds of different things to look at. They're experts at this. They're experienced at this, and they submit the warranty paperwork and it gets done. Get it done that first week, and get another one done at 11 months. Because at the end of 1 year, that's when your 1-year warranty ends. They have to, you know, you want to get as many things taken care of as you can. My experience has been, for the most part, not a whole lot of major issues. Yeah, I've seen some. For example, one of my customers, they replaced a plate or a section of concrete in their driveway, and it came back. The new section was a different color, and they had it tested, and it was a different hardness. That one didn't, as I recall, that one didn't end well. They didn't get any resolution, and I thought that was interesting because, you know, it was obvious that there was some significant differences in the concrete. You know, and what they paid for their house, you would expect it to be right. All right, so we're going to make this the last question because I've got someplace I've got to go to this evening. Can you share your opinion and explanation of the county rollback rate? So what is the rollback rate? The first rollback rate is the rate, the millage rate that would exist if your home value went up over this year. Let's say you had a $100,000 home, it went up to $110,000 in value, taxable value. So you would see a tax increase. The rollback rate rolls back the millage rate so that you still pay the same amount of taxes. So if you were paying $1,000 taxes last year, and then your house went up 10%, you're still going to pay $1,000 this year. That's what the rollback rate does. And that's great, okay? Nobody likes to see their taxes go up. I sure as heck don't like raising taxes. One of the problems, though, with the rollback rate is it doesn't account for inflation, okay? In fact, it disregards inflation, and costs continue to go up, whether it's fuel cost, you know, electricity, employees get pay raises. All these costs continue to go up, all right? But the income doesn't. Now, some will say, well, you got all these new houses, that's extra money. Yes, but that's called organic growth. And the organic growth covers the cost of new services that have to be provided. So prime example, this year, Sumter County is adding 10 deputies to the sheriff's, well, not 10 deputies, but 10 people to their payroll. A couple of deputies and a couple of non-law enforcement personnel. That's the organic growth because the population is increasing. So they have to put, you know, it really, I think it puts 2 deputies on the road is what they end up with out of the 10 people, because it actually takes like 3.5 deputies to staff around the clock, just so people get their time off in that. So, you know, 7 people to hire to really put 2 deputies on the road 24/7. So that's where the new houses, that's what they pay for. But, you know, we still got all the other costs, and the county works real hard, just like the district government does, to keep the cost down and do things competitive. But, you know, look at inflation. Go to the grocery store. That's all. Best thing you can take, go to the grocery store, and it's shocking. Yeah, we stopped at Walmart yesterday on the way home from the home show. Oh my gosh. Basket full of groceries was $250. Like, what? But anyway, so right now what's in the budget is to maintain the millage rate the same, so we're not going to the rollback rate, which equates to about a 4.75% increase in your taxes, and that's due to the increase in your home value. And those extra funds are going to be directed towards road repairs and maintenance. And because road work is very expensive, we're doing what we can with a limited amount of budget without raising taxes. So pretty much the trend for all of Sumter County is to maintain the millage rate at last year's rate. So whether you live in Wildwood or I think Wildwood, Lady Lake, Fruitland Park, they're all maintaining it. Some of the other, I'm pretty sure the rest of the cities in the county are also doing the same. The school board, it's maintaining its millage rate. So, we're going to see an increase in our tax bill, and there's not much we can, unfortunately, costs keep going up. All right, so it is almost 20 after. We've gone about an hour and a half. I want to thank everybody for joining. Let's see, make sure I got everything. Yeah, I got everything on my list today. Once again, if you're building a house, whether it's in LaGrange or Oak Hollow or Edenfield, and you need somebody to take pictures of your house while it's under construction, my background is construction management, so I am very familiar with what's going on in the buildings. As my ads say, I understand what's going on. I know when it's done right. I know when it's done wrong, and I'm going to be your eyes looking out for you. That being said, everybody have a blessed day. Have a great week. We'll see you next week, and I am out of here. Thanks for watching today's broadcast of Gold Wingnut Live. These weekly broadcasts and the construction update videos are two of the ways I bring information to you about the construction happening here in the villages. At Gold Wingnut Productions, I also provide a photo-video service for new homes under construction. If you're building a new home in the villages and you need someone to watch the construction for you and send you regular updates, then contact me through my website, goldwingnut.com, and arrange for a photo-video package of your new home. I've nearly 20 years in the construction industry as a project manager, and in the last 6 years, Gold Wingnut Productions has provided this valuable service to over 300 homeowners. I know the work the various trades are doing, and I know when the work is being done right and when it's not. I'm not just taking pictures like some do. I'm watching your new home build with a trained eye to help ensure everything is done right. So go to goldwingnut.com and arrange for your package today, and I'll see you next week right here at Gold Wingnut Live.
Old is when your wife says, "Let's go upstairs and make love." And you answer, "Honey, I can't do both." Old is when your friends compliment you on your new alligator shoes and you're barefoot. Old is when a sexy babe catches your fancy and your pacemaker opens the garage door. Old is when going braless pulls all the wrinkles out of your face. Old is when you don't care where your spouse goes, just as long as you don't have to go along. Old is when you are cautioned to slow down by the doctor instead of by the police. Old is when getting a little action means I don't need to take any fiber today. Old is when getting lucky means you find your car in the car park. Old is when an all-nighter means not getting up to pee.
The Navy. A select group of people who can sleep through the roar of a jet engine, inhale a full meal in 30 seconds, and shower under a water stream weaker than their will to live. Yet somehow they take an hour to take a quick piss before Liberty Call. After enlisting, they're guaranteed a lifelong nicotine habit, the instinct to start cleaning whenever they hear footsteps, and an aggressive distrust of anyone who actually enjoys being in the Navy. Their day starts when someone decides it does, and it ends when they've mopped the same patch of non-skid so many times they start seeing their ancestors in it. Most of their time is spent wondering if drowning would be preferable to another safety brief. They've perfected the art of disappearing when work needs to be done, reappearing just in time for chow, and getting away with both, because no one actually knows where they belong anyway. Upon their return, they've morphed into people who instinctively cuss out inanimate objects, answer to a 6-syllable nickname no one remembers giving them, and consider, "Yeah, but did you die?" a legitimate medical evaluation. They sacrifice birthdays, holidays, and every decent relationship they've ever had so the rest of the country can live their lives without ever thinking about who keeps them safe. They disappear for months at a time so some kid back home can argue that nobody actually needs the Navy, while live streaming from a platform made possible by the satellites they keep running. They're a unique breed of men and women who can jury-rig a nuclear reactor with a butter knife, debate for hours over which deployment was the worst, knowing the answer is all of them, and still find time to remind the Marines that they're technically a department of the Navy. So here's to the Navy. The only place where a 12-hour shift lasts 18, a quick task takes all day, and the answer to every problem is figure it out. May your chiefs be too busy to notice you, your paycheck actually hit your account, and your next port call not get canceled for operational requirements.